Hello guys and gals, it is I, the Monster. Today we're taking a trip down memory lane to the holiday season of 2004, where the legendary and iconic Nintendo DS handheld system first came out. I'm going to talk about my memories, some experiences, all that good stuff, little stories, and we're just going for it. I've been thinking a lot about this handheld lately, and I just thought it was time to finally discuss it. So please guys, before the video starts, like, comment, subscribe, share, ring that bell, do whatever you gotta do. I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers this year. That is my goal, and I believe we can do it. So let's get started with the video. Are you ready for the future 2 screens? Woo! So the Nintendo DS came out November 21st, 2004. I remember the build up to this handheld was so crazy. I was reading magazines like Expert Gamer, EGM, GamePro, those kinds of things, and I was obsessed with the 3D games and how amazing they looked, the bright lit screen, the microphone, the Wi-Fi, PictoChat. This was like a really big deal. So I knew that I had to make it my goal to get this thing. And I remember we used to go to this mall about 30 minutes or so away, 35 minutes, Smith Haven Mall. It's still around. It's not like it's gone already. And there used to be these 3 shops in a row. There was like a Planet Comics store, which sold comics and games and toys. There was a Saturday Matinee, which was to this day like the greatest video store I've ever been to. And there was an old school EB Games. So I remember I went into the comic book shop, the Planet Comics, with my father, and they had a Nintendo DS like kiosk, like a single, and they had like Mario 64 DS, I believe, was on it. And I remember just being like, oh my god, I have to play it. So I'm playing it. My dad is not a gamer, and you know, most of the people in my life aren't gamers, but he was like very intrigued by it because it reminded him a lot of his laptops and his, like, I think he had a BlackBerry or a pager or something at the time. Man, that's going way back. And, you know, my birthday was coming up a month after this thing launched. So this was kind of like, my idea was, let's get this as like my birthday gift. So, you know, I said, look, I'll do whatever you want. I'll do chores, whatever. My dad was like, okay, here's the deal. I was very, you know, he was very intrigued. He got sold on it by the guy who worked in the store. He said, I will get this thing for you and the game. But, like, that's it. You're not getting anything else, right? And somehow, someway, I even got the thing earlier. So I was a very lucky kid. I'm going to say that. And yeah, when it came out, we picked it up. We pre-ordered the thing, and the rest is history. So Mario Kart 64 DS was like a really big deal when it came out because essentially you were finally playing one of the most like beloved games at the time on the go, and it had new characters, Wario, Luigi, Yoshi, some new stuff was in the game. It was just incredible. Like, now we take this stuff for granted because emulation exists, and I get that, but holy moly, man, when this first dropped, it was like revolutionary. And this was ultimately probably one of the best launch titles I've ever seen for anything in my life. It was just a perfect game. Played great. You know, listen, guys, this is an old handheld, so you're going to have problems with it no matter what. But at the time, it was like, oh my god, bro. Like, playing this on the go, vegging out on the couch, watching TV, and playing Mario 64 was an experience. And I also have to talk about how big of a deal it was for them to also put in the demo cartridge for Metroid Prime Hunters. This was a big upcoming game that was coming out. It was a whole ordeal, and I just remember like playing the demo and being like, wow, like I already love Metroid Prime and I'm a fan of Metroid, but holy moly, like this looks amazing, it's running great, and I couldn't believe that this was coming to the handheld. It was a whole ordeal. Games like Mario Kart DS and Metroid Prime Hunters, in my opinion, really solidified this little handheld. This came out in November 2005, a year after the initial launch of the Nintendo DS, and it has, to me, one of the greatest rosters, has great vehicles, tracks, music. This thing, for me, ruined a lot of the other Mario Kart games in the series. This one and Double Dash, man, on the GameCube, I don't know what it is, I love these. I remember in this version, I was maining Waluigi with like some kind of a crane vehicle. It was hysterical. And then Metroid Prime Hunters finally came out in March of 2006. That was a long wait, it felt like, because the demo cart came with the box, like I was saying. And this was an interesting one because it felt like a PC game kind of on the DS. And it introduces all of these different hunters, like Psylocke, who's the main villain of Metroid Prime 4. It just looked great, it ran great. The online, again, in this was not perfect, I don't want to lie here, but when it ran, it was like amazing. And the story was just, again, it was really interesting. I'm genuinely shocked we have not gotten a re-release or something of this game, but it would be a nice one to see. I wonder if it's because it's not a retro-developed game, but they have the style of the retro stuff in this. So I don't know, but I love this game. Really just 2 fantastic games here that you should definitely check out if you own a Nintendo DS. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I would also be remiss if I didn't bring up the holiday 2004 Nintendo DS catalog, which is just a banger. It's got everything from the DS launch games to GBA, SP, and GameCube. It is so cool, man. It's like a little time capsule. And, you know, maybe I'll do like a little video of it so you guys can see what I'm talking about. But, man, they used to give these things out in stores like the EB Games and the GameStop and the FYEs and all that. And people would just get them and throw them out. But these are, like, to me, like historical, like artifacts or something. I don't know. Yo, you know what's funny about this one is this one was trying to advertise the GBA player. And it shows like all these like cartoons and animes and stuff that were out in the 90s, 2000s. I just loved it. I loved like I love stuff like this so much, man. It's so good. So yeah, I just wanted to shout this out. And there's going to be another one I'm going to talk about too. Hey, this is going to be sort of random, but did any of you out there have these? I used to buy these. GameStop had these for like $10, and they're essentially just cases for your DS and your stylus, DS cartridges and stylus. And like, this one's a little broken and busted. I'll be honest, they're getting a little sticky. I might have to take the carts out now. But, you know, I would have all my games and stuff in them. I love these. For $10, dude, these were like a total steal back in the day, especially if you were a broke kid. You know, this stuff was awesome, man. So I just wanted to give these a shout out. Okay, back to the games. It's kind of funny. People always talk about 2007 as this legendary year for video games, but like, hold up, man. Let me actually remind y'all 2008 existed. 2008 had Kirby Superstar Ultra, a remake of the original Kirby Superstar on the Super Nintendo, extra modes, extra stuff. I think there's a Meta Knight mode in here. I'll correct that if I have to, but man, this is like a top 5 Kirby game to me. You should check this one out. It's a must-have. I pre-ordered this bad boy when it came out, and again, still one of my favorite Kirby games of all time. And then I gotta tell this crazy story real fast. So back in the day, before Amazon became this crazy company, they did a buy two get one free. So I got 2 games. This was probably after 2011. So I think one of them was Dead Rising 2, and the other one was 3D Game Heroes. And the third game, the one that I got for free, is gonna blow your mind, and that is Chrono Trigger on the Nintendo DS. Can you believe that? Chrono Trigger. Let me explain something, okay? There is a lot of revisionist history going on out there. I'm gonna be real. When this came out on the DS, nobody cared about it. Like, straight up. You could get this for, I believe it was $20 in the deal, but I got it for free. So I just wanted to shout this out. This is like probably one of the best remakes, redos of all time, of one of the best games of all time, and I played through this whole thing and was absolutely in love with it. I ain't even gonna lie, y'all, and I'm very open about this. Chrono Trigger is a guide game, in my opinion. You need some help with it to get certain endings and certain things in the game. It is incredible, man. If you could somehow get this game or do something else, I would highly recommend you check out Chrono Trigger. Where is our remake? Where is our redo of this game? Let's go. Let's get going on that. I had to give a shout out to Chrono Trigger. Come on now, man. In March of 2006, the Nintendo put out the DS Lite. And it's basically an enhanced version of the DS, better screen and lighting, just faster, a little more sharper, right? This was the bundle that came out, I believe, in 2007, because this is around the time I got my first big job at a supermarket, and I said once I get my first check, I'm going to spend it on one big thing, and that was this bundle. I got the Red DS, Nintendo DS Lite bundle with the Brain Age 2 in the carrying case. The too long didn't read version is I got rid of Brain Age 2 because honestly it just wasn't for me. But I just absolutely love this handheld. It was incredible. And again, you had so many great games coming out on this thing, bangers, and it was a real experience, And I will also say, and I'll go on record here, I still own my carrying case for it. And again, I have to shout out that I also got one of these Nintendo DS Lite books. This one was advertising the Wii. This is from 2007, man. I mean, you're talking like, Metroid Prime 3 is in this one. You're talking about some wild stuff. Maybe I'll put a little video of me going through this as well. But yeah, these books, man, if you guys get a hold of these little things, man, they are really cool. It belongs in a museum! Alright, we're going to put a bow on this video, and I'm going to end it with a bang. So, I am a huge Pokemon fan. A lot of you know this now. And when these games were first announced, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. They were remakes of my 2 favorite games, Gen 2, and I just remember, so excited the whole year for them. Me and a friend at the time were, obsessed with Pokemon. We stayed over his house, we both pre-ordered the game, and we were just up almost all night. And shout out to his dad, his dad was a legend. His dad, got us up pretty early, man, 4:30, 5, because there wasn't, a midnight for this GameStop for some reason. And long story short, we basically picked up Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These are still two of my favorite games of all time. They also came with the little Poke Walker accessory, the little poker chip. That'd be funny. And you would level up Pokemon. You would transfer a Pokemon to it and level them up and move around at work or wherever you were. But yeah, these games are just remarkable, man. Remakes of Gen 2. So much more stuff going on visually. Again, you know, nothing's perfect. I think there's some weird version of EXP share or something in these games, but you know, I just needed to talk about how amazing these were. Like, there is a reason why people are still talking about these games to this day. I also want to quickly say that I'm trying to reach in here. I got the pre-order figure boxes. I can't find the figures. I don't know what happened to them, and I'm freaking out about it. I've been looking nonstop for them since I started making this video, but I have the boxes here, so, you know, just proof is in the pudding, I suppose. Just wanted to shout that out real quick. Hey, so before I was talking about how I looked all over the place for the Pokemon Heart Gold Soul Silver figurines, and I was pretty devastated. But a day or so later, I'm happy to announce that we have in fact found them. I had to trek through some snow, and I'm not very proud of where I put them, but they are here intact. I'm trying to get a right shot of these. But yeah, I have the pre-order figurines. We're good to go here. All right, back to the video. But yeah, these games are just legendary. It is kind of a shame to me, like, what happened to them in terms of the value of them and what's going on. Like, they were fairly common games. Yeah, they're fancy in their packaging, what they gave you, but I just think, like, the market really ruined this stuff. So maybe one day we'll get some kind of a re-release or something of these older games. I don't know what the play is. But yeah, especially since Pokemon's turning, you know, 30 now would be nice. But yeah, I just needed to shout these out. I absolutely love these games. Like, again, man, the Nintendo DS was just, and the DS Lite was just such a legendary handheld. It's hard to argue its whole legacy and whatnot of all the releases and the things that came out for it. I'm going to sneak these into the video. This was a pre-order stylus for Pokemon Black and White. It's my boy Oshawott. And this is Sonic Chronicles Dark Brotherhood, I guess pre-order styluses. I don't know if the dude that I used to be friends with that worked at GameStop gave me these or somebody else did, because I never owned this game. But I just wanted to give my, you know, here's my once a year Sonic content for that one person out there that keeps asking me for it. Here you go, dude. Here's your Sonic content, and this is Oshawott. Yeah, just wanted to sneak this in the video. Alright guys, that's it. That's my Nintendo DS memories. Hopefully these two screens are not shining bright lights into the camera, but I'll try my best here. So please, down below, tell me what you thought of the video. Do you like any of this stuff? Do you have Nintendo DS memories of your own? I would love to hear about them. Please, I love the Nintendo DS, man. And that's it. Like, comment, subscribe, share, ring that bell, do whatever you gotta do. I am on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And that is my goal for the year. Hey, and also, did you know that 73.9% of you are not subscribed? Maybe you should subscribe and like the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really, really, really appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all later. Peace out. Does this look cool? Or is this like freaky?